The table shows the approximate number of species of each type of tree. How many more species of palm tree are there than maple tree? Dash species.
Good job. Your answer to 1872 works well here. The table shows the approximate number of lakes in 2 different states. How many more lakes does Florida have than Minnesota? Dash lakes.
Bravo, 8200 is the answer. A square waffle is made up of 16 squares. How many squares long is each side? Exactly. 4 squares makes sense, and it is right choice. A negative exponent is the same as the reciprocal of a positive exponent. Nicely done. True is a solid answer. What indicates the number of times the base is used as a factor? Valid point. Exponent is true. How many more species of palm tree are there than maple tree? Strong choice 2872 is the right answer. What is the repeated factor in a power known as? Well reasoned. Base is the correct choice. Between which 2 lines does the error occur? Smart pick. Lines 1 and 2 is the correct choice. Look at the image. Which number is the base? Great thinking. 4 is the right choice. About 13 out of 20 homes have a personal computer. On a street with 60 homes, how many would you expect to have a personal computer? Well done. 39 homes is the right choice. What is this Fortnite dance called?
Clear logic. Your choice hype is sound and 100% true.
Who is Sleeping Beauty's villain? Good thinking. Maleficent is the right answer.
What number represents the base?
Correct response. 5 is the most accurate answer. The product rule says that when you are multiplying 2 exponents with the same base, you keep the base and dash the exponents. You got it. Your choice ad is right. Evaluate the expression. Right again, 125 is a valid answer. 12-ounce shampoo bottle lasts Mike 16 weeks. How long would you expect an 18-ounce bottle of the same brand to last him? Great job, 24 weeks is the accurate answer. The product rule states that when you have different bases with the same exponent, then just add the exponents together. Perfect. False is the correct choice. The 4 is called the dash. Excellent choice. Base is the right answer.
A grading machine can grade 48 multiple choice tests in 1 minute. How long will it take the machine to grade 300 tests?
You're right. 6.25 minutes is the correct answer. According to the power of power property, when we raise an exponential expression to a power, we dash the exponents. On track, multiply is the correct answer. A scientist reports that a bacteria culture contains 3 to the 4th power bacteria. How many bacteria is that? Right choice, 81 is the best answer. Mike picked 106 oranges and Sarah picked 121 oranges. Tim picked 139 lemons. How many oranges were picked in total? Nice selection. 227 oranges is the correct and valid answer. Dan found 889 seashells on the beach. He gave Benny 333 of the seashells. How many seashells does he now have?
You chose 556 seashells, and it is correct.
The school library contains 6 to the 5th power of books. How many library books does the school library have?
Sharp thinking. 7776 library books is the right choice. A 6-ounce package of fruit snacks contains 45 pieces. How many pieces would you expect in a 10-ounce package? Smart move. 75 pieces is an accurate answer. According to the product of powers property, when we multiply exponential expressions, we dash the exponents. Well picked. Add is the correct answer. Scientific notation is made up of 2 number parts. The first part should be a number between 1 and 100. Solid response. False is a valid choice. According to the quotient of powers property, when we divide the expressions, we dash the exponents. Excellent. Subtract is a brilliant choice. The product of powers rule states when multiplying powers with dash, base then dash the exponents. Nice work. You chose same. Add and it is correct. Which of the following is not a perfect square? Which of the following is not a perfect square? Correct. 8 is the right answer. An elephant weighs 10,000 pounds, which is 10 to the power of 4. Which number is the base? Nice selection. 10 is the correct and valid answer. The power of powers rule states if a power is raised to another power, then dash exponents. Strong choice. Multiply is the right answer. The quotient of powers rule states if dividing powers with the dash bases then dash exponents. You got it. Your choice same. Subtract is right. And then dash is a number that indicates how many times you should multiply a number to itself. Correct response. Exponent is the most accurate answer. True or false? Definition of exponent, it is a number which represents the number of times. Right choice. True is the best answer. What is the number in a power that tells how many times the base is used as a factor? 2. Good job. Your answer exponent works well here. According to exponent rules, when we multiply the expressions, we dash the exponents. Well reasoned. Add is the correct choice. Scientific notation is made up of 2 number parts. The second part is a power 10. Well done. True is the right choice. Which of the following numbers are perfect squares on the list? 9, 25, 36, 50, 81. Perfect. 36, 81 is the correct choice. Which of the following options is the correct way to write 12 million in numbers? Exactly. 10,000 makes sense, and it is right choice. Sally has 111 books. Jason has 1 or 5 books. How many books do they have together? You're right. 216 books is the correct answer. Very small numbers can be expressed in standard form using positive exponents. Excellent. False is a brilliant choice.
The rule of scientific notation is to write all exponents with a base of dash.
Solid response. 10 is a valid choice. Negative exponents for powers of 10 are meant to represent numbers between.
Clear logic. Your choice 0 and 1 is sound and 100% true.
What is the name of the Nicktoon about a boy with a football-shaped head? E. Bravo. Hey Arnold is the answer. Division law states, keep the base the same and do this to the exponents. Well picked. Subtract is the correct answer. How many squares are in one row of a square time game with 100 squares? Valid point. 10 is true. In order to multiply powers with the same base, we add their exponents. Smart move. True is an accurate answer. In the repeated multiplication 2x 2 what is the base? Nice work. You chose 2 and it is correct. An exponent is the number of times that we're multiplying a number. You chose true, and it is correct. What is the exponent if we write 2x 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 2 using a power? Good thinking. Phi is the right answer. If the exponent is a negative number, the original number was dash. Great thinking. A really small number is the right choice. What is an expression that contains only numbers and operations? On track. Numerical expression is the correct answer. A perfect square is when a whole number is multiplied by itself. Great job. True is the accurate answer. When dividing powers with the same base, you dash the exponents. Correct. Subtract is the right answer. Two numbers that, when multiplied, result in a definite number. Smart pick. Factor pair is the correct choice. Raising a number to a power is also known as dash. Right again. Repeated multiplication is a valid answer. When we square a number, that means it's to the power of dash. Nicely done. 2 is a solid answer. When a number is written as the product of its prime factors. Sharp thinking. Prime factorization is the right choice. This number tells how many times to take the base as a factor. Excellent choice. Exponent is the right answer. What is the side length of a square that has an area of 121? Exactly. 11 makes sense, and it is right choice. What is the rule for multiplying powers with the same base? Great job. Add the exponents is the accurate answer. Find the value of the power. 11 squared. You're right. 121 is the correct answer. To square a number is to use what mathematical operation? Great thinking. Multiplication is the right choice. The cube of a number means which exponent should be used. Strong choice. 3 is the right answer. What does a Venn diagram use to represent relationships? Nice work. You chose circles and it is correct. In the following statement, which number is the value? Valid point 64 is true. The greatest of factors shared by 2 or more numbers. Clear logic. Your choice greatest common factor is sound and 100% true. What is the value of any number raised to 0 power? Well done. 1 is the right choice. What special word do you use for the exponent of 2? Good job. Your answer squared works well here. True or false exponents are repeated multiplication. Nicely done. True is a solid answer. A power has 2 elements, the base and the exponent. Perfect. True is the correct choice. Which of the following is a perfect square number? Smart move. 9 is an accurate answer. Another way to say 2 to the second power is dash. Bravo, 2 squared is the answer. What is the area of a square with a side of 3.8? Well reasoned. 1444 is the correct choice. Factors that are shared by two or more numbers.
On track. Common factors is the correct answer.
7 raised to the power of 2 means the answer is
Excellent. 49 is a brilliant choice.
How do you use exponents to represent numbers? Excellent choice. Repeated multiplication is the right answer. Another way to say 3 to the third power is
Solid response. 3 cubed is a valid choice.
the square of a whole number is called a dash.
Smart pick. Perfect square is the correct choice.
Anything raised to a power of 0 is always
Right choice.
1 is the best answer. What is the square of a whole number called?
Well picked. Perfect square is the correct answer.
What operation does the dot symbol indicate?
Right again. Multiplication is a valid answer.
True, false. 6,000 is 100 times as much as 60.
Correct response. True is the most accurate answer.
True, false. 290 is 10 times as much as 2,900.
You chose false, and it is correct.
Which is a perfect square between 36 and 64.
Sharp thinking. 49 is the right choice.
To find the value of a numerical expression,
Evaluate is the right answer.
the number used as a factor is called this.
You got it. Your choice base is right.
What is the opposite of squaring a number?
Good thinking. Square root is the right answer.
What would be my first step? 3 plus 4 64 equal 2.
Nice selection. Multiplication is the correct and valid answer.
Calculate 6 to the 4th power minus 56.
You chose 1240, and it is correct.
Which of these areas is a perfect square? Smart move. 64 is an accurate answer. Second power of any number is called dash.
Bravo! Square is the answer. Who is the father of exponents and powers? Sharp thinking. Jacob Bernoulli is the right choice.
What operation do you use with exponents?
Correct. Multiplication is the right answer.
1 raised to any integral power is dash.
Strong choice. 1 is the right answer.
What is the product of repeated factors?
Right choice. Power is the best answer.
Multiples shared by 2 or more numbers.
Clear logic. Your choice common multiples is sound and 100% true.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Nice selection. SpongeBob SquarePants is the correct and valid answer.
What does LSED stand for in mathematics?
Valid point. Least common denominator is true.
What does the P stand for in PEMDAS?
Nice work. You chose parenthesis, and it is correct.
What number is 10 times as much as 70? Good thinking. 700 is the right answer. Evaluate 2a plus 4b if a equal to 10 and b equal to 6. Great job. 44 is the accurate answer. Anything raised to 0 is equal to.
You're right. 1 is the correct answer.
What is 2 raised to the power of 3? Well reasoned. 8 is the correct choice. What is this form called? Excellent. Factored form is a brilliant choice. What is equal to 2x2? Smart pick. 32 is the correct choice.
Numbers with exponents are called.
Good job. Your answer powers works well here. What is equivalent to 5 squared? You got it. Your choice 25 is right. Solve using mental math, 60x 900.
Excellent choice. 54,000 is the right answer.
Evaluate when equal to 15.2 plus 2. Right again, 22 is a valid answer. The exponent can't be 0. Exactly. False makes sense, and it is right choice. An exponent of 3 is also called. Solid response. Cubed is a valid choice. Evaluate 12 to the second power. 144 is a solid answer. The square root of 256 is dash. Correct response. 16 is the most accurate answer, which is not a form of number. On track, number form is the correct answer. What is the square root of 49? Well done. 7 is the right choice. Calculate 5 to the power of 2. Perfect. 25 is the correct choice. A number multiplied by itself. Great thinking. Squared is the right choice. Find the variable that 3 plus q equal to 56. Well picked. 43 is the correct answer. A plus 12 was for y equal to 4 and z equal to 2. Nice work. You chose 40 and it is correct. Who is Snow White's villain? Nice selection. The evil queen is the correct and valid answer. True false 50 is what 10 of 500? Sharp thinking. True is the right choice. Plus 4 to 2 equal to 20. Bravo. True is the answer. Is 100 a perfect square? Well done. Yes is the right choice.
Tanks 10 is equal to.
Good thinking. 1000 is the right answer. What does GF stand for? Good job. Your answer greatest common factor works well here. Solve 5 the second power. Correct. 25 is the right answer. Evaluate synthé for y equal to. Excellent. 8 is a brilliant choice. What is 10? Strong choice. 1000 is the right answer. What is 1 or 2 squared? Clear logic. Your choice 1 die 4 is sound and 100% true. Okay, medicine equal to 30. Well reasoned. X equal to 5 is the correct choice. Tanks 10 equal to. Right again. 1000 is a valid answer. 4 equal to. Valid point 256 is true. Her plus 1 equal to 21.
Smart pick. X equal to 5 is the correct choice.
X8 equal to 5. Correct response. 3 is the most accurate answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format? You're right. Contact Narayan Chengder on Facebook is the correct answer.